I had so many expectations for my life. I thought I would go to university, or do what I wanted to do, travel, get married, be happy, and have a happy family. But everything, every area of my life, especially my family, was destroyed. And I got to the point that it was just me, and I was, in a sense, left holding the baby. The relationship completely broke down. That's when I hit rock bottom. The realization of knowing that I was by myself, I hadn't achieved any of the things that I'd set out to do, and I was now going to bring a child up into the world. I would cry myself to sleep. I would cry in the mornings, and even if I wasn't physically crying, inside there was so much pain, so much hurt from so many things, and now being in this situation I didn't know how to handle. The tears didn't stop for such a long time. And the change happened when I realized that things could change, that I didn't have to be unhappy. I was invited to a women's meeting, and I understood that I could be happy, that although the situation had been so difficult until now, being a single mother wasn't the end of the world, that I could achieve everything that I wanted. But for that to happen, I needed to start with myself. I started to understand the power of prayer. I started to understand what it was to have faith. I started to understand what it is to invest in myself, and all those things that had been holding me down, the complexes, the insecurities. I started to understand that I can achieve things, and I needed to change my focus from the situation, from my child, to myself, and to use the faith that I had found to put things and my problems into God's hands. Today I can look at my child and I'm proud. I'm proud to be a mother. I have inner peace. I'm happy with myself. I value myself.
Good evening and welcome to Finding Answers. Tonight I would like to start the program with a question. Are you someone who feels that there's something important that you lack in life? Do you know what it is? You someone who you are a person that you know exactly what you want to achieve. You know what you want to reach, but you haven't gotten there yet. Maybe you don't have it all figured out. You feel that you need to take more action towards it. Or you might be watching us tonight in a situation where you have most of the things that you want, and you have conquered your goals concerning your education, your career, you have the occupation, the business, the life that you want, and you can get the material things that you need, but still you feel that something is missing. There's still a void inside of you. If you relate to this, then stay with us, because we're going to be talking about that. How can you fill this void? Why is there a void? Even in the life of many accomplished people, we see that in the news very often, where someone very successful in the entertainment business, someone very famous, suddenly out of nowhere, someone that we could say, well, I wish I was this person. I wish I had what this man or this woman had. I wish I had that life. Next thing you know, they're in the headlines, trying to commit suicide, overdosed on drugs. And there's this other side of this person's life that you never knew about. So why? Why is it there's a void? What can we do to fill it? And why is it that so many things that people do, sometimes appealing to alcohol, drugs, friends, partying, still seems not to fill the gap? This is what we're going to talk about tonight. What am I lacking, and what must I do to fill that gap? We're going to be right back.
Is there something significant missing in your life? Although different things give different people satisfaction in their life, ultimately we all like to feel fulfilled. But how can we find out what's missing in our life? Your life may feel off course and out of balance. Maybe your job leaves you with a nagging feeling or dissatisfaction at the end of the day. Or at the weekend, do you rarely have anyone to spend any time with? Maybe you spend all of your spare time on your own, never really talking to anyone about how you're feeling. If this is the case, then maybe it's time to start to find out, for the first time in your life, what it is that could help you feel whole. So, why does your job leave you feeling this way? Is it the hours, the lack of freedom, your boss, or is it the work that's just not something that you love? Answering questions like this and continuing to dig deeper and deeper in all aspects of your life will help you uncover the true source of discontent for you. And you can finally discover what you're lacking, and then you can start to make changes to feel fulfilled again.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Tonight we're talking about what am I lacking? How do we feel this void, this gap, when we don't have what we need to achieve, what we want to achieve, or when we finally get there and still see that it wasn't enough to fill the gap. And we have here tonight Victoria. Good evening.
Good evening.
So Victoria, what do you have to tell us about this topic tonight?
Well, I was thinking about this, and what am I lacking? I was thinking mainly about people feeling dissatisfaction in their life. So if we're lucky enough to be born into a family where we have all the necessary circumstances, food, love, warmth, then we are totally satisfied. But unfortunately, that's possibly the only time in our life where we are totally satisfied, because as we get older and we start to realize that we are our own identity, we often learn from society, for example, that we should have more and more of a certain thing. Maybe that's money, a good job, a car. And what we tend to find is people will then feel more and more dissatisfied. I mean, that might not be the only reason that people feel that they're lacking something. This could come from a lack of love, for example, in childhood. But all these things really draw themselves to a person having a void and emptiness. And we actually spoke about this yesterday on the programme. We find that people will try and fill that void or that emptiness with things like alcohol, substance abuse, and even searching out difficult or abusive relationships just so they can feel something, because people might feel absolutely nothing at all and they'd rather actually feel pain than nothing.
Yeah, because the interesting thing to me is that there's this point where there's many people who really fight for something and they put so much energy into getting it. And when they finally reach that level, they still see that the void continues. It's not something that completely satisfies them. We have people who are pretty happy with what they achieved and everything. Yet we have others that, despite the success they have in certain areas of their life, in certain other areas it's a total failure. And that is caused by this. By the void, right? Where they end up doing even negative things.
Yeah,
right?
People with emptiness in their lives can look at other parts of their lives, for example, and become very successful, for example, in business. So somebody will be a very successful businessman, businesswoman, but then they still aren't getting the fulfillment that they want because they may not feel loved. They might feel unlovable. So they're never gonna fill that void until they actually acknowledge what it is that they're missing. And you can only really do that by either talking to someone, talking to your family, or just sitting down and having a really good think about what it is that you're missing in your life. But that is easier said than done.
Yeah, there's a documentary that's available, and I watched it, that talks about the life of rich heirs, most of them young people, from very influential families, from the children or grandchildren of very successful entrepreneurs. And it shows that they, materially speaking, have access to everything they could possibly want. They don't lack anything. They can go anywhere in the world. They can buy whatever they want. And yet, you see that they're very unhappy. Many of them, most of them who spoke in that documentary, despite of all the things they can have, they have access to so many good things that a big percentage of the world population doesn't, and still they feel empty. Still they feel there's something missing. Speaking from a spiritual point of view, You know, I believe we were made by God. We're created by God. Let me see if I have here my phone. It's just a mobile phone. But this was designed to work with a battery. If we remove the battery, all the components are there. The phone maybe doesn't lack anything, and still it's not going to work. I believe God, as our designer, made us to be dependent on Him, to have a relationship with Him. Which doesn't mean to become somebody religious or adopting a religion, or following certain rituals. No, it's just like you have a relationship with a friend, someone that you know, someone that you're close to, someone that you can talk about things, interact normally, help that person, be helped, influence that person and be influenced by that person. In the same way, we can have a relationship with God. And when we are not close to Him, then there is this gap, this missing part of us. And the more people try to fill it with other things, partying, friends, alcohol, liquor, whatever it is, a professional success, it is not going to do it, because we need to be close to Him. And if you would like to know how to get close to God, if you right now are watching us and you say, you know, this is what I need, I just want to be happy. But no matter what I try, nothing fills the void. I'm depressed, I'm sad, I'm suicidal, I don't know what else to do, I'm crying right now as I'm watching this program. Give us a call. You can speak to us right now. There are advisors waiting to take your call, or you can send us an email. Victoria, could you give the contact details to those who want to contact us?
Absolutely. So if you'd like to speak to us, our number is 020 7686 6300, or send us an email. Our email address is help@findinganswers.tv. If you'd like to send us a tweet, just start your tweet with @FindAnswersTV, or search for us on Facebook. Just search for Finding Answers.
So it will be a pleasure helping you tonight and speaking with you. Okay? We're going to go to a short break, and when we come back, we have actually two live guests tonight who are going to tell us how they were able to fill the void and become the happy ladies they are today. We'll come back right after this.
This is your UCKG timetable. We are open 7 days a week, helping you to make a new beginning. Monday, a meeting focused on achieving more in your financial life. Tuesday, prayers for healing. Wednesday, a meeting teaching you to develop in your spiritual life. Thursday, a special prayer for the family. Friday, a service for your spiritual deliverance. Saturday, Find the One, a service specifically tailored for your love life. Sunday, Reconnect with God, the main meeting for your spiritual strength. Do the maths. Changing your life is not as simple as changing your hairstyle, your shirt, or rearranging the furniture in your living room. You're talking about years of deep-rooted habits, behaviours and problems that are not going to change overnight. Many may say, think positively, but the trouble with that is that you can't do or change anything with just thoughts. But add action into the equation and the outcome can be different. Let's do the maths. Positive thinking plus action equals a change. Whatever it is, if the change is significant, if it's worthwhile, then it will have to take time, effort, and homework from you.
Come on, spin me around now, I don't wanna go home. 'Cause when you hold me like this, you know my heart
So tonight I have two live guests here, Lorene Fletcher and Sarah Ogillo, that they're gonna tell us their story of success, how they were able to overcome their problems, fill the void, fill the gap, and become strong and positive people.
Pushing me for the rest of the week, so it's like a boost.
Things were really tight.
Today, the way I see myself is completely different.
So welcome back to Finding Answers, and welcome Lorene and Sarah. Okay, thanks for coming. Speaking to Lorene first. Lorene, how did the problems begin?
It began when I and my husband separated. We was married for almost 3 years, and I found out that he was cheating on me. And we tried to work things out, but it didn't work. Then I asked him to leave the house where we was living at, which was at my mum.
How did you find out? Sorry if I may ask.
I found out on Facebook and through friends. I saw pictures of him with another girl, and through friends I found out that he had someone else. Mm-hmm. And I confronted him, and he said it wasn't true.
It was like a total shock to you.
It was, because we was happy. Well, I believe we was at that time, but obviously not. And then he's...
For how long have you dated before getting married?
Maybe about a year or so.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you thought you knew him pretty well?
I thought I did, because when I met him over here, but he was from Grenada. Mm-hmm. So I went to Grenada and got married to him.
Okay.
And then he came over here to be with me.
Right, right. Did you get to know the family, each other's family and everything?
Yes, I did. I did meet his family when I went back to Grenada.
Mm-hmm. During the dating period, you never saw any sign that he could be this kind of person? Did he come across as someone who could be unfaithful? Did he speak to you of previous affairs or something like that?
No, he was totally different. He was such a lovely person. I never expected that from him at all.
And was his first marriage?
Yes, his first marriage.
In your first marriage?
No, it was my second.
Second already?
Yeah.
Right? And the reason for the first one to fail?
The first one, it was the same thing as well.
Same thing happened to you?
Same thing happened. Mm-hmm. And he was from Grenada as well, so
yeah.
I got married in Grenada, and I spent 2 years in Grenada with him. Mm-hmm. But I found out he was cheating as well, so I came back to England.
So seeing it happen to you the second time was like you just saw like a rerun of the first time, and I can imagine you were totally devastated, right?
I was. This one was harder to deal with, because he was in the country here. My first husband was in Grenada, but my second husband was here. So it was hard. It was really hard for me. It took me 4 years to actually get over the whole thing. It was hard. It was tears every day. I started drinking more and started smoking because of the depression, and I was feeling really low because he wasn't there with me.
So you started to smoke, drink, have problems with that after you separated? After
I separated, I used to smoke, but not as much. I used to smoke more when the marriage broke down. I started drinking more on a daily basis, and smoking more as well.
You knew these two things were not good for you at all, right? I mean, smoking and drinking.
I did.
But you still did it.
I did.
Why is it? I know you're trying to fill the void, but why with that?
I think the drinking was like just to kill any memories or to think about him. I was just drinking because I thought if I drink, I would get drunk and probably fall asleep, and then I wouldn't have to worry about the problems. So that was one of the reasons why I started drinking more. It was like just to kill the memories.
Were you working?
I was working, yeah.
And you could still function doing these two things? Yeah, I functioned
because it was just in the evening when I came from work. I would go to the shop and get a can of Stella or something to drink.
Did your friends notice a difference in you, or did you pretty much, were you able to disguise the...
Well, at that time I was living on my own, so it was disguised. No one really knew. Even though they knew the marriage broke down, but never knew what I was actually doing because it was behind closed door.
Did you ever come to a point of maybe thinking about suicide or anything like that?
No, I never thought about suicide, but I was really low. I cried every day and asked myself why this is happening to me. You know, so it was.
Did you try something else to get help, maybe counseling or going to a course or something to...
No, I never tried anything. I started reading my Bible after a while because I thought I needed change, I needed breakthrough. So that was my only kind of comfort there at the time. But that didn't really help me because I wasn't reading the Bible, didn't make any, I didn't understand it that well, what I was reading. So for me, that didn't help me at all. And I just carry on. I used to go parties and stuff like that and just do the normal thing.
Were you attending any church back then? Or?
I used to go on and off, not regular, I wouldn't say. I used to go, yeah.
Right. So you see, we all have problems. We all go through difficult situations in life. But when we are not close to God, everything becomes way more complicated. Whereas when we are close to Him, He can inspire us. God can talk to you. Not through a voice in your ears, evidently not, but through thoughts, inspiration, ideas. You wake up every morning with desire to live. And even when you have problems like this, you find in Him, when you're close to Him, when you have a relationship with God, you find strength to overcome. You find hope. But the problem with you is that at that point you were not close to God. You were trying to read the Bible on your own. Maybe it's something that the viewer watching us now is also trying to do, or just pray and read Psalms. I heard of people who said, I was reading Psalms. I don't know if that's what you were reading too.
Sometimes, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't really fill the void, because to have a relationship with God goes so much beyond that point. It's to learn from Him. It's to seek Him. Actually, it was Jesus who said, seek and you will find. You're not going to find God by accident. You're not going to have a relationship with Him haphazardly. There has to be an intention. All that He needs from you is one step. And once again, when I say relationship with God, I'm not speaking about religion. I'm not speaking about you becoming a Christian, a Methodist, a Baptist, or UCKG member. That's not what it's about. We're talking about faith. Every one of us have faith. If we don't know how to use this gift, if we don't know how to use faith to connect with God, it's going to become difficult, or I would say at times even impossible, to overcome the problems, and the void remains, the gap remains. So this is what was happening to you.
Yeah.
Whatever you tried failed because you were not trying the right thing.
Yes.
Right? There's even people who say, no, but I have tried everything. No. That's not realistic. You haven't tried everything. Because if you had tried everything, you would have overcome your problem already. You have tried a lot of things that didn't work, but not everything. First of all, who knows what everything is? Right? So, no, it's just a thought that if it's there in your mind, it's not realistic. It's a lie. It's a lie. So, get rid of this thought. My advice to you is get rid of this thought. Understand that there's a whole lot of things that you haven't tried yet. There's many options out there. Connect with God. You know, she had the courage. You had the courage to drink more, right?
Yeah.
Spend more money on cigarettes. This didn't bring you results.
No, it didn't.
But you were not. We were talking a little bit before we started the program.
Yeah.
You told me that when invited to church, you didn't want to come.
No, I didn't.
Why is that?
I don't know. I just wasn't ready to start going to church, I think.
But you were ready to drink.
I was ready to drink.
Ready to smoke.
Ready to smoke.
But to go to church, no.
No.
Maybe a little bit of prejudice. I mean, not that you wanted to have this way, but kind of the thought like, well, I know already what's going to happen over there.
I just didn't see myself, and then my family is into church, but I just didn't see myself.
Yeah.
being
What was the image, Lorene, that you had of church? Probably just a bunch of people singing, hollering, just going crazy.
Just going to church and get your blessing and then go back home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was it.
Just a prayer.
Just a prayer and then go back home.
That was the idea, right?
Yeah.
Let me ask you, how did you find out about the church?
It was, I used to go to the church before, years ago with my mom, and then that was on a Friday, but I didn't like the Friday service, so I stopped going. And then it's only recently when my cousin then became unwell, and then my mom started to take her to church in Hammersmith. And by then they invited me a few times, and I was like, no, I don't want to go. And one day my mom couldn't take my cousin to the church, so she said, could you take her? So that's how I started going. But when I started going to the church, it wasn't for me, it was just because I was trying to support my cousin because she wasn't well.
So you didn't believe that the church could help you at all? You were just
No.
going
I
there
was
because
just
of
going
your,
because of my cousin.
of your cousin?
Yeah.
Right. What has changed? I mean, what made you go from that person that believed there's nothing in it for me to someone who actually is here today to talk about the story of how the
I've
church
even
helped you?
surprised my own self, actually. Even my family, when I told them that I got baptized and I'm in church now, they all kind of laughed at me and thinking, of all the people, I never expected you to be one of them. But anyway, I started going on the Fridays, and I started going on the Sunday. And just by hearing the words, it kind of touched me a bit, and I'm thinking, there's certain things when the pastors speak, it kind of relate to my life, and I'm thinking, I need God. I really need to change my life. And then I started going the Wednesday, the Friday, and the Sunday now. So, so that's how
So basically, it was words,
it was.
teaching, guidance, things that came out of the mouth of that pastor that somehow struck a
Related
chord
to me, yeah.
with you, hit the nail on the head,
Yeah, definitely.
and kind of led you to take certain things. Can you remember one specific thing?
I can't remember that. I can't remember.
One teaching or one thing that led you.
It's just certain things. Like every time I went to church, it was like he knew me, like he knew what I was feeling or something like that. And I just thinking, how did the pastor know that was me? And I was thinking, oh my God, the pastor knows me. He's talking about now. But it was just different things. Actually, it was just different things. Like every time I went, it was just the words. It was like, and I was saying to myself, I need to change when I go home. I need to do this and I need to do that. And that was with the smoking. One day he said about the smoking, you know, to give up the smoke. Something he said. And I went home and I said, right, today is the day I'm going to quit smoking. And I did, and it's over a year now. I've given up smoking.
So the words you heard, it was like connecting to your situation, to what you needed, even though the pastor didn't know about the situation, right? But it's like he knew you, right? This is, you see, when we go to the doctor, what do we receive? We receive words. Do this, buy this medication, take it every so often, so on, right? You go to school, what do you receive in school? You don't receive money, you don't receive food, you receive words, teaching. Most of this stuff stays with you, remains with you until today. There's a lot of things that you learned and you still remember, even though years have gone by. With the church is the same. The church is a place where you get guidance, but guidance for life. Guidance for every area of your life. Finances, your health, your love life, every aspect of your life. Following this guidance, because it's based on God's Word, on the author of life, you start to see changes. So see that it's not related to religion. It's related to life. It's a school of life. And by believing, by applying what you learn, like a good student does in school, you start to get good grades. But the good grades here means a change of life, right? So today, what were the changes? Who is Lorene today compared to
I'm a totally
that
different
one
person now. I've stopped drinking and I've stopped smoking, and I feel much happier with myself.
Yes. No more drinking.
No more drinking.
No more smoking.
No more smoking.
No more tears every night.
No, I don't need to cry anymore.
No more needing to hide your feelings.
No.
Let me ask you something, Lorene, to close up here the story. If you were to meet a man of God today, a person, I don't know, are you married?
No.
Or are you in a relationship right now?
Relationship.
You are in a relationship right now. So you believe that this time is going to work. It's not like,
Like before.
Oh, you know, I failed twice in marriage for the same reason I'll never be happy in marriage. You don't think like that at all?
No, I don't. Before I used to think I don't want to ever get married again. I just want to be on my own. I don't want no man in my life, just me.
Now?
Now it's different.
It's different.
Different.
You believe you're going to be happy?
Yes.
Happily married?
Happily
Have a
married.
beautiful family?
Yes.
Of course you will, because everything is possible to those who believe. Thanks for coming, okay? But stay with us. In the next segment, I will speak to Sarah, who also has a strong story, right?
Yes.
So stay with us. We'll be right back after this.
From the moment I walked in, I felt different. It's about me, how I felt.
Just the whole environment, the whole positivity in the place. I realised that my life could change from then on.
I wanted to learn more. I wanted to know more. There I learned that there were roots to the problems that I had. And I learned how to tackle the roots of those problems.
If I keep going and listening and putting into place what's been said, then my life will always be happy.
You just need to come and hear for yourself. It's a personal thing.
So, maybe you're thinking about making some big changes or setting some ambitious goals for yourself. Maybe you want to lose 20 pounds or read through the Bible. Maybe you want to run a marathon or repair a broken relationship. Whatever your big goal is, the temptation is to expect to go straight from here to here, or from here to here. The reality is, there are a lot of small steps between big decisions and big results. Challenges and obstacles await. At some point, you might even want to quit. But stand firm. Don't be disappointed with slow progress. Don't be overwhelmed by the destination. Rather, focus on what you can do today. Skip dessert. Read a chapter. Go for a run. Make a phone call. The more difficult the journey, the more rewarding the destination. And it can all start today with just one small step.
Definitely depression is probably number one.
They're arguing and they're talking negatively about each other.
What is more valuable than another? And
so you can have as many friends and families as you want. It just depends.
Is a common regret, like, oh, like I should have like asked that person out, or like.
Hi, I'm Chika here on the streets of London for Finding Answers. Tonight's topic is, what am I lacking? I'm going to be finding out from the general public if there's something they feel they cannot live without. Let's find out what they say. Is there something in life that you feel that you cannot live without?
Love, yes.
Yeah, friendship and love. I guess so, yeah.
Family and, yeah, just people around you. Yeah.
Music, of course, yeah. Music has been part of my life since I was a kid. I was born in church, so I started singing gospel since I was a kid, and up until now, 20 years of music. Music, I can't live without it, and that's it.
I like to just always make things, so when I'm not making things, I feel like I'm wasting my time. So, yeah, and books. I like books.
So you found there the different opinions of people in the streets of London, and you see, some love music, others love people, others love books, but maybe still doing all this, the void still remains. If that is your case, let us help you. You can take your phone right now, 0207-686-6300. Give us a call, speak to an advisor now. You don't have to even give us your name. You just can tell us, listen, I need help. I'm watching the program now. I would like to know more information on how I can change my situation. Okay, we are here to give you the support that we can, right? It will be a pleasure helping you. Now I'm speaking to Sarah. Okay, Sarah, so when did the problems begin? How does your story begin?
Before I actually even go into it, I just want to say something that you mentioned earlier. Like you were talking about a documentary that you watched, that even though they came from a background where they have received a lot of affection, this is the same as me as well. I came from a family that they showed me love. They gave me everything I wanted. Like I would ask for something and they'll give it to me. But yet I still felt that void inside of me. Mm-hmm. And this led to me going to relationship after relationship after relationship. So it wasn't like I wanted to, but it's just that sometimes I'll feel, okay, no, I don't think this guy is for me. I'll look at him and be like, I don't know. So then I'll go to another relationship, and sometimes it would be them breaking up with me.
Interesting. Sorry to cut you off, but just to understand. So you were someone who grew up in a good family. Materially speaking, you didn't lack things, right? You went to school,
yes,
right? Emotionally speaking, your parents were there for you, so you didn't lack love, attention. You didn't grow up with these issues, this lack, but still,
I still wanted that. I don't know why. I still wanted affection. I still wanted attention. Like I'm really, really close with my dad, and I'm developed my relationship with my mum. Like we are all close, even though we're a big family. We're all still close, and I was like really close with my family. So even though I was close with them, I still felt that I needed more attention, more affection.
So you resorted to relationships,
exactly,
with different guys.
Yes. Right. And it went on it started actually from a very young age. I started, my first boyfriend, I should say, was when I was 12. And because I don't look my age as well, I used to lie about my age and stuff like that. So it used to allow me to date older guys as well and stuff like that. So it went on for a very, very long time. And I used to always say to myself, I would never let anyone break up with me. I always make sure I break up with them. But the last relationship that I got myself involved with really, really did it for me. Like I gave this guy everything about me emotionally, like everything. I used to always be there for him, and we used to do like pretty much everything together. When I finished college, I'll go straight to his. We always used to be together all the time, until one day he decided, I don't know why, he decided to do a prank on me. Because him and his like really good friends, we were really, really close, and they wanted to see how my reaction would be. And I was this kind of person in a relationship where I was protective, and I was just like, if you're gonna do something bad, I would advise you not to. But if you do it, that's your business. I wouldn't like, support you and be like, oh no, it's okay, when I know you've been warned. So what the prank was, they said to me, that he's in prison now, and like, I wasn't willing to be upset. I wasn't willing to cry about it. So I started shouting, getting upset. And then the next day I got a phone call from him saying, oh, I can't believe you reacted like that. You're supposed to come to see me and, be upset, call my mum and stuff like that. And I was just like, how do you expect me to react like that when I already told you, you should be careful, with where you go and stuff like that. So this instantly it made me think, oh my goodness, are you really going to break up with me just because of that reason, just because I showed to you that I cared? And this really, really hurt me, because I was just like to myself, how can you show someone so much care, but then they just throw it back in your face? And I was just so hurt. And then that was the relationship that took it all for me, and I just didn't want to involve myself in and with anyone else. It took me about a year, and normally this was not the way I was. I would normally go around seeking for like relationship, affection with guys and stuff like that. But with this one, it was really, really different. I really felt like really attached, I should say, to this guy.
So because he did this prank on you, expecting that you would react a certain way, and when you didn't, because of that, he decided that.
Yes, there were other reasons. Sorry, there were other reasons as well. But I just felt like that was the most important thing, because it was literally the next day. And of course, we used to argue a lot in the relationship, but it was literally the next day after the prank. That's when he said.
So you were trying these relationships in order to fill the gap, right? To get the attention and the love that you didn't lack, but still you believe you needed more. Out of all these experiences with different people, including this one that you decided to even, give more of yourself to, right? Probably you invested in this relationship, what you wanted to receive. What did you get of all this?
I didn't get anything out of it, to be honest, because after we broke up, I became like a stalker, I should say. I would like send him texts like, hi, you okay? I would cry on the phone begging him to take me back. And even though he moved out of London, I would go on Facebook, I would see who is he dating now. I became very like, I don't even know how to put it. I didn't see the fact that I should be loving myself first before I show someone else another love. I was literally wanting to get back to him. I would do anything to get back with him.
It's like you started doing things that you naturally wouldn't do.
Exactly.
You taking certain actions that it was like you didn't even recognize yourself, right? This happens when our basic needs are not met, right? Every human being has basic needs, physical needs, emotional needs. And when these needs are not met, then we start doing things that we normally wouldn't do, right? You had places, for instance, some years ago in Chile, there was a terrible earthquake. And even in peaceful cities where there's no crime, people started looting because they needed food. And, every store was closed, so they started breaking in. Why? Because a basic need was not met. They needed to eat. And, there's a need. And this need, whether it's love, attention, a big portion of it can only be really met by you, as I said, I repeat it again, having a close relationship with God. It doesn't matter what you tried. She tried relationships, you tried partying, right, drinking, smoking, and people try different things. Some go to either even more radical things such as drugs, heavy drugs, adventure, jumping off a bridge on a bungee cord in the tallest fall, whatever, and it's very nice for a while. All the high lasts. It's a good feeling, but coming out of it, when the high is over, when the adrenaline rush finishes, when that moment, when the night is over, you still have to deal with the same void. It was just a very short-lived temporary feel. And you don't have to be living like this. You don't have to settle for less. You can get closer to God. Once again, what I wanted to tell you is, get rid of thoughts that tell, but this won't help. I've been to churches. Yeah, but we're not talking about church. We're talking about having a relationship with God. And we are here showing people that by learning and knowing how to do it, they overcame. If they overcame, you can overcome. It doesn't matter your age, it doesn't matter your situation, where you live, who you are. This can work for everyone. If you just learn principles of faith, if you accept guidance, if you're humble and courageous to take this step that you know, maybe you took steps like Sarah is saying, right? Because you did things that you normally wouldn't do, but it was negative.
Yeah.
So why can't people do something that they usually don't do, like maybe going to church, but to do something positive instead of negative, right? How did you find out about the church anyway?
I found out through, at first I found out through Facebook, through like my refreshing my wall and seeing people like from the church.
You had never heard of it before?
No.
Right.
I was never like spoken to about it like in person or anything until I went back to college, and then I spoke to my friend. I was just like, hey, I've seen you in talking about this church and stuff like that. What is it about? She told me what it was about, and then she invited me, and that's when I started coming.
Right.
Yeah.
So because of our time coming short now, Sarah, tell us, how did the church help you?
It helped me in so many different ways. Like, something that I didn't mention was that when I first came, even before I came to the church, I was someone, even though I had everything, I was going to college and stuff like that, I still felt like there's something more to life than just all these things that we're doing. And I was just like, what is it? And even though I was born into a Christian family, I never really involved myself as heavily as I am now. So when I first came to the church, I was just like, everything the pastor used to say, the things that they used to say, the testimonies that they used to give in the church related to me. I remember the first testimony I heard, like when I started going to the services, was exactly me, the addictions I was facing. And I thought, you know what, if this church can be so open and so real, they don't hide anything, they're not scared to tell you the truth, then definitely this is for me. Because I used to think before I came to the church, I lived a good life, I lived an okay life. Even though I had problems, they were normal. That's the way I thought, until I came to the church and they taught me that this is not normal. You can live a life without addictions. You can live a life without, you know, seeking attention. And this is what stood out for me in the church. And I thought, you know what, this is my church. This is where I'm going to stay. This is where I'm going to get closer to God and find God. So, yeah.
So, and the changes. What has changed in Sarah since you... By the way, how long have you been coming to the church?
3 years.
3 years.
Yes.
You go to the church in?
Hammersmith.
Hammersmith too.
Yes.
And what has changed?
A lot of things have changed. It's the main thing that has changed is my mentality. The way that I look at myself, the way that I see myself, the way that I just see things around me, and it's just completely changed. And I don't go from boys to boys anymore. I'm keeping myself, I am investing in myself. I'm getting to know who I am. I'm getting to know what I like, what I don't like. You know, this is what the church has allowed me to change within myself. So, yeah.
Very good. Congratulations,
Thank
okay? To both of you, thanks for coming, right? And we hope you keep coming back with more and more beautiful stories, okay? But you see, so when we speak about faith, we speak about life. And if you right now, even after achieving your dream, even after achieving a great accomplishment, everyone is happy for you, but you are not happy yet. Deep within yourself, you know there's something missing. You're miserable. Let's be honest, you're miserable right now. Maybe even flipping through the channels just because you can't sleep. Give us a call. Let us help you. One call can make a difference. 02-07-686-6300. Speak to someone right now. I promise you it will help, right? You can get also more information by sending us an email. You can talk to us. We're here to help. We're going to go to a break now and come back with a prayer for you. You can even prepare a glass with water, and we're going to bless it during the prayer if you want to do that with us.
The UCKG Helpline Call Centre is open 24 hours a day, every day of the week, all year round. If you need help due to a serious problem you may be going through, if you feel that you have nowhere to turn to and desperately need someone to lend a listening ear, then we can help you. It doesn't matter who you are or what you have done, your religion or race, your call will be answered by someone who genuinely cares about you and has your best interests at heart. We also arrange home visits for the housebound and hospital visits for anyone in great need of kindly human contact. Whether it is simply information you want or desperately need someone to talk to, we're here for you on 0207 686 6000.
So, ladies, it's lovely to have you in the studio with me. I'm rather excited.
Does character matter?
If you're married, you shouldn't be flirting with somebody else on that.
Forward and back. Forward and back. Roll on the knee.
Relationships and money, can the two really work?
Absolutely. I think that appearance is important.
How do you define character?
And you want to have that perfect house, but you've got to realise everything happens at the right time.
I've got a friend who puts all her business on Facebook, and I just can't stand to read it.
You're learning already. Do you cook at home?
Yes, I cook.
Mr. Right is just right under your nose.
You get a checklist, but that checklist becomes a shopping list.
But in life, sometimes it's good to be different.
Follow My Channel's updates on Facebook. Like your favourite videos and see pictures of your favourite artists. Access our Twitter @MyChannelUK and get to know what's on with My Channel. Visit tvmychannel.com and be connected to our world. My Channel, a whole new world of entertainment.
So we're coming to the end of tonight's program, but still I would like to help you in prayer. So if you want to join faith with us, if you prepared a glass with water, grab a hold of it now. It's a moment for us to pray together.
Prepare now for the moment of prayer. If you would like us to make a prayer concerning your love life or relationship, send your name and prayer request to help@findinganswers.tv.
God, I know that you bless us also according to our intention. And you know the intention of my heart is only one, is to help this person who is now desperate, sad, lost, empty, feeling that no one understands and maybe even that no one cares. But you care. You care so much to the point that you have set aside people through this TV program to help this viewer right now. Help them understand this, that they are not alone, that this program is not a coincidence, it's not reaching them by accident, but is a plan of yours to rescue, to salvage this person from this dark place. Shine your light, cast a light on them now, Lord. Even a beam of your light is enough to save, to restore, to change. This is what I ask you to do. As they drink the water that we bless now, inspire this person to change, guide them to you. Help them, give this person the strength to take positive actions, because maybe they have not been taking any action. They are in a very apathetic way, stopped, stagnant, or maybe taking actions that are putting their life even further down, digging the pit even deeper. Help them come out of this, my Lord. Snap out of this attitude and come to you and be helped. We bless this water and we agree here together. When they drink, they will be blessed. If you believe, just say amen and drink the water now. So I believe you have been blessed. Okay, we hope to have helped you. And as we said before, to fill the gap, you need to include God. You need to include God. If you want our help, we are still going to be here. We're still going to be available. Give us a call, 0207 686 6300. It was a great pleasure having your viewership with us tonight, watching us, listening to us. So till next week, that's it for tonight. God bless. Good night.